I am back, and while I was on vacation, I did go to one thrift store in Tennessee. I went to a Goodwill in Bristol, and I was a little bit surprised about how different things are between, like, just one state over, how different the Goodwills operate. So everything has barcoded. They still had colors, but everything was singularly priced and barcoded, which I thought was odd. But I'm going to show you what I got. I got all clothes. Their hard goods were great for a collector, but not good for someone trying to resell as far as hard goods were, and their sections were not as big either. So mostly men's. I only have one women's thing. So this is a vintage LL Bean button down shirt. It's button down because the collar buttons down. Very 90s. It does have one flaw that I didn't find until after I photographed everything, because going forward, I'm not going to show you a haul unless I have everything listed already. I'm going to make sure I don't add to my death pile anymore. I do feel a lot more refreshed, so I do think that's something that I can do. So that's the one flaw. It does have like a wear spot on the back. It's not quite a hole yet. It's just a wear spot. And this is a men's tall medium. Picked this up because it's very 90s, and 90s and Y2K are very in. The next item I'm going to show you is this vintage Western shirt. This is by JCPenney. I only pick up JCPenney when it is vintage, and this is very vintage. I'm guessing this is 80s based on the way this looks, feels, and fits. And it has no flaws, and it is a men's medium tall. So that's pretty cool. You guys know I love my vintage. Speaking of, I found this, which is very Guy Fieri, very 90s. Can you see it? No, I don't think you can. It's Sun and Moon. The brand doesn't really matter. It's just, this is 100% style. This is vintage from the 90s. It is very Guy Fieri. This is going to probably sell based on style. I picked up another vintage. So when I go to these like hole in the wall, well, it's not really a hole in the wall, it's a Goodwill, but when I go to more rural areas, what I am looking for is mostly vintage, because they're going to have a lot of modern pieces that are going to be normally lower end, or if they do have something that would be worth picking up. I did find two cool pieces while I was there, but they were thrashed. So when I'm going there, I'm looking for vintage pieces, because those are the ones that are going to be in the best shape. Although I do have a couple, like I said, that have some issues with them. The last piece I'll show you does have an issue that I do think I can remedy. But this is vintage LL Bean. This is also tall piece, so this is XLT. This is a wool blend. It's just a basic red sweater. I love picking up LL Bean. I do have luck selling both the contemporary and the vintage pieces, but I only pick up contemporary if I get it for really cheap at the bins. This is another piece that I picked up on style. This is vintage as well. This is vintage from the 90s. This is Cambridge. Again, doesn't matter what the brand is. I'm more into the pattern. This is a geometric print, and this is a needle cord. So it's corduroy, but because it's so tight, I don't know if you can see it, but the corduroy is so tight, so it is the thickness of a needle, which is why it is called needle cord. So I picked this up on style and the fact that it's vintage, and I think that someone is going to want to buy that from me. More vintage. This is Master Shirt. This is late 70s, early 80s. It is a regular polo, but this is very much on trend with what people are wanting to wear as far as colors go. If the only way that could have been better is if it was bright Kelly green or bright orange, or, you know, a pattern of some sort, but the brown will still sell. I did pick up a couple of contemporary pieces in men's. I found a Lucky brand Henley. Again, I have just started picking up anything Lucky I can find because it actually does sell pretty well for me. And Henleys are always super popular. This is some kind of specialized knit. I don't know what kind of knit this is. It's not quite waffle knit, but it's close. But Nice basic Henley in a size large. So that will definitely move when we get closer to fall. I picked this up to wear until it sells because I'm a weirdo. This is, again, not a brand that is really that important. It's WXYZ. It's got skulls. I'm going to wear this until it sells because it is a men's small and that is what size I wear. I just thought it was cool and I'm perfectly happy to pay $2 for a t-shirt if it's something that I'm going to get wear out of, which I will because I'm going to wear it. We got another vintage Western wear piece. This is Eli Cattleman. This is a size large. Very cool muted fall colors. Again, you know, I love my pearl snaps. They move pretty quickly for me. I have no problem moving Western wear at all. This is another contemporary piece, and this is the only women's piece I found. So this is Vineyard Vines. The whale there. This is an extra small. But I don't think I'm going to have an issue with it. Just, this has absolutely no flaws. There is the brand logo if you've never seen that before, which I doubt sincerely that you've never seen Vineyard Vines before. I paid like $4 for this. So in my area, Vineyard Vines gets marked up. My guessing is that they just don't see a whole lot of Vineyard Vines, so they didn't mark that up. We have another vintage JCPenney piece, probably from the same person that donated the other one. This one is 70s with the long disco collar there. Again, just another basic and then nice navy blue, but I'm pretty sure someone will want to style that and it's just very cool. The next piece is a pair of 90s vintage Levi's. These are the Carpenter loose straight, very on trend. It has the hammer, but it is missing the loop, which I found interesting. I've not seen the style of Carpenter before, but it does have some fraying at the bottom, but it's very worn in. These are like the perfect level of worn in comfy jeans. These are a pair of 3032s, so I'm sure some girly is going to probably snap these up and not necessarily a dude because this is very on trend for the Insta girlies. And then I have two pieces, both of which I'm super excited about. They're both vintage. This is amazing. So this is another one of those things where the brand doesn't matter. So the brand is actually in the pocket. So this is Traditional Classics Rugged Wear and is a size medium. And the reason why it's in the pocket is because this is a reversible puffer vest. So it's the regular brown with the patch pockets on the front, and they're patch pockets because they're patched on top of the item. And then you turn it inside out and it is this beautiful plaid vest with zippered pockets. So that's super cool. So it has two internal pockets and two external pockets no matter which way you have it. And it's just a very, very cool piece. This is from the 80s. And when I saw this and saw it was reversible, I just was like, no, this is definitely going with me. For $5, absolutely. This normally, I can sell it between $30 and $40 based on the season. So that is a definite yes. And the last piece I have to go get from downstairs because I'm trying to work on it, but let me go get that real quick. This next piece, I feel like it's going to be worth putting in the work for because this is Vintage Starter. It is a size large and it is the Made in the USA. You can see that down there. And this is a vintage Tampa Bay Buccaneers sweatshirt. And if you want to know what's wrong with it, somebody has gotten wood glue on the elbow and on the sleeve down here. And I've already removed half of it. It's just gonna take like me being very gentle with a razor blade to get this off of the top pilling. I made the decision to purchase this because this was actually scraping off with just my fingernail. So I've removed most of it. I'm not going to be able to get all of it off, but I'll be able to get enough of it off to where I can still sell this. Now, if this didn't have this condition issue, this would be a $40 to $50 piece, but because it does have this condition issue and I'm not going to be able to get all of it off probably, it's going to be more like a $25 to $30 piece. But I still thought it was really cool because I haven't found Vintage Starter ever. So I was like, you know what? Tom Brady decided he wasn't going to retire after he retired for 2 months. And he's going to be playing for the Buccaneers again, and it's going to be sports ball season again. So I figured it was worth the risk there, especially since that was only $4. So again, I only went one thrift store because it was a vacation and I was trying to like really truly unplug, and also I only got an opportunity to thrift on the way back and I was tired and just really wanted to go home. So I had a really great vacation and I feel very rested, and after 2 days of sleeping after coming back, but I definitely needed the break. So thank you guys for understanding. I'm back to my regular every odd day uploads, and I will see you in a couple days for another video. Till then, bye! Bye.
Nerd.